This week, the Vancouver Courier took a look at Renfrew Collingwood. It's almost at Burnaby. It's got one of the city's largest seniors populations and one of the largest growing populations of children. It also has a SkyTrain that runs through the neighborhood, and one of those stops is Joyce Collingwood. Entertainment editor Michael Kissinger spoke with a band that has the same name. Tell us about them.
Joyce Collingwood, the band, is an all-female thrash punk band from East Vancouver, and they just so happen to name themselves after the SkyTrain station, Joyce Collingwood, opting not to name themselves Broadway City Hall, Commercial Drive, Columbia Station, Scott Station. They could have gone with any transit station, but they chose Joyce Collingwood as their name.
They chose it because it was derelict, but also because there were some issues, some violence against women issues that were happening in the neighborhood. Didn't they have a bit of a message?
At first they thought they had a message, but then they realized they didn't have a message. Basically, as they tell me in the video, they had been practicing. They had been trying to come up with a name, and they had been drinking heavily, and they got on the SkyTrain to go home, and they realized they had gone a few stops too many, and they ended up at Joyce Collingwood, which they found to be odd, mysterious, a little run down, and they thought, what a perfect name for a band. And then they started to notice more and more, they'd hear about Joyce Collingwood in the news, where there'd be some crime going on, and then they started to learn about the history, and apparently it was a bit of a shadier place decades ago with drug dealing and whatnot. So they took that as a good omen for naming themselves.
So, thrash punk, what kind of music is this?
It's heavy. It's very heavy. It's lots of riffs. There's maximum riffage. There's a lot of guttural sounds. It's not romance music, but it's pretty intense. I guess it's suitable for a band named after a SkyTrain station.
You were in their studio space for this interview. What was one thing that surprised you about where these women make music?
They can drink a lot of beer. They can drink a lot of beer, and they like their old Milwaukee. So good on them.
Good on them. Thanks.
Okay, ready? I'm
But like Joyce,
yeah,
like Joyce!
Yeah.
Joyce! Yeah!
Yeah, that stuff right there.
Joyce! Collingwood!
Joyce Collingwood is a punk thrash band from Vancouver, British Columbia. My name's Twitch.
Claudia.
We just had the conversation at that rehearsal,
yes.
What are we gonna call ourselves? And we kind of said we want something that's reminiscent of Vancouver, because we really love Vancouver. We had been jamming for several hours, and sometimes you hydrate when you're jamming.
Yeah,
there was a lot of hydrating, and so we went to get home on the SkyTrain, and we went the wrong direction for several stops, and we ended up at Joyce Collingwood.
And we were super lost.
Super confused.
And super drunk.
Yeah.
It was funny because we were all girls, and we didn't want like a gender defining kind of name.
Yeah.
We didn't want it to be like the la la la
kitty
or
something.
yeah, so it was kind of We wanted to be very ambiguous with our band name.
Yeah. At one point, I think Full Frontal came up, but it's taken. It's like the place
I
where
can't
nobody
remember.
really gets. I don't know. It's like the weird, like a New Westminster station. That was kind of also creepy. It's like, eh. There was actually a couple of like weird crimes against women in that area, and there was a public announcement over the radio, like, just like there's been a couple of things, and if you're a woman at night, you should be careful. And yeah, so it's like weird, just things that like were
Like we
relevant
started
and
paying
important to
attention
us,
to
and,
Joyce
like,
Collingwood.
it's like, whoa, these are all like issues that
Yeah.
are really, we feel need to be like talked about more, and like,
But we didn't talk about it.
no, we just kind of took the name. And
Sometimes after our shows, people tell us like, "Oh, we live in Joyce Collingwood. Like, we just wanted to check out your band." And like, they just, I don't know, they look for stuff online, and then they like,
yeah, like
and they're like
accidentally.
really proud actually of their neighborhood.
That whole area has all these like pockets of mystery and uncertainty, and all those things together create this crazy monster that's just
It's a
always
monster.
just really hydrated,
Yeah.
and just ready to rock
Mad.
out and thrash, and that's what Joyce
That's
Collingwood
Joyce
does
Collingwood.
for us. 1, 2, 3.